Hello everyone! Today we're going to talk about stats. And we're going to be going over the best stats to prioritize first. So we look at the Soul Worker stats, you might think, wow, there's so many. Which ones are good? Which ones are bad? What should I focus on? Should I focus on crit chance or crit damage? Which one should I prioritize out of those? We're going to learn about that today. So before we get started, you might see a bunch of high-level players wearing level 62 accessories. You do not need these at all. If you don't have these, you'll just switch around your titles. So I could wear my HH ones, and I will still have decent stats. I still have 50% armor break, 37%, 66 crit. But if I'm wearing these, I will switch out my titles. I will not use the same titles because they give different stats. So you should move around your titles based on what gear and what stats you're missing. Alright, so let's do a quick rundown of the stats in the game and which ones we should be prioritizing over it. So going just straight down vertically, the first one that we need to talk about is critical rate, or crit. So the crit chance rate you want to get as high as 70% or as close to a 70% as you can. 70% is the sweet spot because you pull a Lily in your party, you got another 15%, you're at 75%. You perfume, you're at another 15% or 12%. And then you're already close to 100%. So aim for around 70%. The closer, the better. Okay, crit damage, the one in the parentheses, the plus 31,000 here, that should be prioritized last. Do not worry about crit damage until the end. I see so many people running around in NA, EU with 40% crit chance, but a bunch of crit damage. No, you're doing it completely the opposite way. It should be vice versa. Alright, going down. Attack speed, that's always a nice stat. On certain things, you'll prioritize that, but they'll only be like accessories, HH accessories. Next one, accuracy. This is a huge one. So the reason why this is so big is that accuracy determines if you hit or you miss. If you have less accuracy than required for the dungeon, you will miss and do something called partial damage. Your DPS will go down significantly. I see a lot of people with high crit rate, high crit damage, armor break, cooldown, but they're low accuracy. And all those stats you're building up are getting cut because you're missing. So, how do you know what accuracy you need for each dungeon? Well, I'm about to tell you. For AOVM, you want 1,600. 1,600. So this is my AOVN gear. For HH, you want 1,800. And for the future, for Lunarfall, you would need 2,100. Violence on 2,200, but that's so far away. Next skill, next one to talk about. Armor break. Okay, armor break is really good. Higher the better. Now, where do you get this? You would get this on your weapon. You can roll up to 6% on your weapon. And also brooches. So your first brooch, your attack brooch, should always be armor break. It should always be armor break. So I see a lot of people running around with the wrong brooches or all purple brooches but wrong ones. We should change these to perfect giga and you'll do more damage. Or perfect, even perfect mega, you'll do more damage. So you're saying, oh, fever, I don't have enough money, Alright, well what you do, if you don't have enough money at the very beginning, what you do is you buy smelters, okay? Just like I talked about in my last video. You just buy 5 of these and put them in your free costume. You know, they're 200k. Some people are selling them for 2 mil. If you need them on NA, I can literally just give you these. But what you do is you put these in your gear. Now, don't be afraid to put these in because you can either take them out with DZ, Zendai, or you can just cover them up with higher quality brooches. So you have free fashion that has one spot open. For example, here, these are the level 1 boots you get for free. As you can see, it has one brooch slot open. In that brooch slot, we will put just a yellow smelter. And the reason why we do SD is because SD is the cheapest. And just using these 5 brooches, you already have 15% armor break. And that looks a lot better than your 0%. So you'll get accepted to parties more often. Okay? So those are the two ways to get armor break. Either by your weapon and your fashion. The third way is only with these accessories. You can roll armor break on the rings. For HH, you cannot roll armor break on them, sadly. Okay, moving on to the next stat. Enemy to basic, we don't care about that. We don't want that. Next one, enemy to boss. Boss damage is always good, but we shouldn't prioritize it right away. We should be prioritizing crit percent, armor break, and cooldown. Always accuracy too. Boss damage and crit damage should be one of the last ones you do. So on this side, most of these you don't need to worry about until you get to cooldown. Now, cooldown is a very important thing, especially if you're playing and you're the only Lily, the only Stella, the only Chi in your party. Because as you can see, each character has a different buff. Lily's buff is 15% crit rate to everybody on the party. So, the buff duration is 20 seconds. The cooldown is 45 seconds. But if you have 44% cooldown, your buff can be up 100% of the time as Lily. So my 63% crit now changes to a 78% because I can have the buff up 100% of the time. That is why cooldown is very important. Also, you just do more damage because your skills come off of cooldown faster. So, we should prioritize those skills. And where do we get cooldown? Well, you get on your armor. So as you can see here, HH can roll 5%. This one, HH can all roll 5% on all your armor. So this is 10-20% right here. Okay, then you also get some from ring accessories. So if we look over at the HH rings, we get a total of 12% cooldown from the 4 set. From these ones, we get a 10% bonus. Now make sure you're wearing the 4 set, either one. Now, the reason why I wanted to go over these stats is because I see a lot of people running AoV hard that are new and dismantling the items that are actually stronger than the current ones they have, or AoV M drops that they're dismantling rings that have better stats. So I wanted to make this video so that you guys can be able to identify what stats are better, what to keep, and so you can get into parties easier. Now, let's talk about the last stats. The last 2 stats are going to be crit damage and boss percent. So you can roll crit damage on your armor after you roll crit rate and cooldown. I think I forgot to say this, but crit rate actually does come on your armor. You can roll up to 7% on HH. So like this. So since I have 7% crit, 5% cooldown on this armor piece, if I wanted to, I could use energy converters to try to get crit damage on this. Now, I'm not going to because I'm saving mine for Lunar Fall gear. Another important thing to note is that if you look over at your Akasha cards, these 3 Akasha cards, the reason why they are the most powerful and the ones that we always go for is because look what they give. 1000 attack power, 11% boss damage. Oh, boss damage is what we want. That's good. Next one, 15% attack speed. Attack speed's never a bad thing. Arura, 12% boss, really good. 5% arm break, well, even better. That is why these 3 Akashas are really, really good. Okay. And the very, very last thing you should worry about, in my opinion, are drives. So if we look over at my armor, you see the little balls in the armor? The blue one and the like orangish red one looking. They actually give you stats. So 4% boss damage, 8 stamina. 4% boss damage, 8 stamina. So for the blue one, we want max stamina. Max stamina. And for the other one, we want boss damage. And so the boss damage currently goes from 2% to 4%. And you can find them in the market if you just search Kiss. They're called Kiss of Containment. The Kiss of Containment type A is the stamina. The B would be the boss damage. So if we just go over here and look in the market on NA, 4% is 33 mil, and you'll need 4 of these. So these are the best things to buy because, again, it increases your damage. So make sure you prioritize these stats. Make sure you use your titles. Right now I'm using Approved Racer because I need the extra 5% crit. And then I need the accuracy over here to reach the 1600. So just make sure you look at your titles and determine what stats you are missing overall. Okay. The last thing that I should mention is that leveling up gear actually gives you stats as well. You can't see this, but leveling up your shoulders to +9 gives you 390 accuracy. So if I take this out and I put it all the way down here so I can actually see it, as you can see, +9, 390 accuracy. So your shoulders are something you should level up first. Your chest guard, we take it off, it gives 6% crit. Useful. Your boots, 6% armor rate, very useful. So these three should be the first three that you upgrade. You might ask, why not the helmet? Why not the helmet? If we look at the helmet, it only gives 3% boss damage. Boss damage is okay, but it should be the last thing you work on. If you enjoyed this video, learned something new, make sure to drop a follow and like or subscribe, I should say. I'm used to Twitch. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.